Today I'm going to be showing you how I made my Flash animation for Vision Tech that I entered into Imagine. It's called The Dog Who Couldn't. So in order to make this, I made several different layers, and so this layer itself is the title screen. Then this one's the background, which is the sun, the sky, and the ground or grass, whatever you want to put, however you want to put it. And the reason the trees aren't a part of that is I needed to make them move on their own, and I'll come back to that later. Um, so let's start with the tennis ball. I drew the tennis ball, then I converted it to a symbol by hitting Control click, and down here it usually says convert to symbol right there. And then you click that and it'll make it get a symbol. Then to make it move like it does, then you come down to this frame and hit Control click, and it'll make it a classic. And then you go to classic tween, and it'll make it move from point A to point B by when you'll drag it to here, and it'll move it from point A to point B. And to how to make it look like it's rolling is you basically will just click on this right here, and then just twist. You'll rotate it, and that's how I'll make it look like it's rolling like that. Okay, then let's move on to the trees. So to make them move on their own, again, you're gonna have to draw them and convert it to a symbol. That's the only way you can get them to move make a tween is, and you gotta convert them to a symbol. I don't know why, it's just how Flash animation does, how it works. So you'll draw them, hit Control click, then go down and find convert to symbol. And then once that's done, you will go to this frame right here, one of the frames, and again you'll just move it to however you want it, and it'll take it from point A to point B. Now let's go to the dog here. The dog was probably the hardest part of this whole entire project. For the dog, you have to you have to draw each little part. See all these little boxes right here? You have to draw them separately and then convert them into symbols, and then once that's done, you convert the whole thing into a symbol. It was a long process. This was the hardest part of the project, was drawing the dog, making the different symbols, then making the whole thing into a symbol, and then getting it to look like it walks in a cycle. So see how it moves from there to there. Well, you have to put it into one position, that position here, and then on the next, like 5 frames later, say, you move it into a different position, and another 5 frames later, you move it into a different position to where it looks like it took steps, like that. And then you do that once or twice to make it look like a full cycle. See, just make it look like a full cycle of walking. And I was running short on time, so I didn't move the dog itself. That's why I moved the trees in the background to make it look like the dog is walking. That's why I did that, and it's a lot easier to do that than to move the whole entire dog, because then it would just been a lot bigger mess. That's why I moved the trees, so the background, to make it look like the dog was moving. It was a lot easier that way. Then once you get the dog into separate symbols, you convert it into one big symbol in order to get the tween the tween you need. So it's not, because if I wouldn't have had these tweens right here, it would go from this to that really choppy, but it makes it one smooth motion. It makes it a smoother motion instead of it being from there to like that. It's just, so it's not so choppy of a movement. It makes it a much smoother movement. So with the tennis ball and the dog, so all together it looks, the ball moves from point A to point B, and then it rolls, and then the dog is in its cycle, and the background moves, so it looks like the dog is moving to the tennis ball, and then the dog kicks it, and the tennis ball rolls away. That's basically my project. I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.